Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Wednesday, August 12th. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the ace golfer himself, Mr. Andrew Hansen. How are you today, Andrew?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm loving golf, everything about it. Getting ready to set up some DFS lineups here, play it. It's been a strange year here with COVID. Last year I played a ton of golf. This year I've only played 3 times, and believe it or not, I've been trying to figure out if I want to play lefty or righty. Kind of a long story, but I played about 20 years righty, then I played 15 years lefty. And
Wow.
the way this season started, it just went out and hit some shots, and I was hitting a bunch of lefty shanks, even though last year I was shooting in the low 80s. And I decided I just don't want to hit any more shanks, so I'm going to play righty. But I played a couple times righty, did not go well. So today I went back to lefty for the first time, played with the best man at my wedding, a longtime golfing buddy, and I shot my best ever score lefty, a 78.
Wow.
So I am in the golf mood. I'm feeling the golf vibes, ready to get after it. And you know what I can do here? I can transition right into our first value pick for the Wyndham Championship. All right.
It's Andrew Hansen.
Yeah, I'm going to miss the cut. It was 78. No, not on that course. It'd probably be more like an 88, even on a good day. But I got to mention Seamus Power, and we're going to go deep right away here. I mean, this is an extreme value play, 6,400 on DraftKings, and Seamus Power. I heard earlier this year that he can hit a drive lefty or righty 300 yards. So he just kind of feels like the right guy to pick this week, and he did play here last year and make the cut. So it might actually work. It might actually work out.
That's fantastic, man. I wish I was you, because I'd be out there hustling on the golf course all the time. I'd say to somebody, I'll beat you from the other side. Just tell me, you want me to go righty or lefty? You could just hustle somebody.
Yeah. If I only had more time, maybe I could give it a shot.
You're also good, like if you're up against a tree, you can just use a different club. You're all set.
Oh, no doubt. I always have the opposite 7-iron in my bag, whichever way I'm playing.
Well, I'll tell you, if I had a swing lefty, it'd be like baseball. 1 strike, 2 strikes. I can't even pick my nose left-handed. Are you kidding?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of lefties play golf righty. Back in that era, it was easier to get clubs and lessons. So the man who taught me to play, that's what he suggested I do. So
wow,
you hear about it a lot.
That is a cool story for sure. Well, before we jump into golf real quickly, let me thank our presenting sponsors, mybookie.ag. It's a place to go for all your sports wagering and casino action. You can go to mybookie.ag or dfscoachtalk.com. Use the promo code CoachTalk, all one word, no space, and you get up to $1,000 in free play matched to your deposit and a $25 free play bet just for being a listener to the Coach Talk podcast. And also tvg.com, #1 horse racing site in the world, and they have a great offer, a $300 risk-free bet. You can go to dfscoachtalk.com, click on the banner that says TVG $300 risk-free bet, and if you lose, they refund your money. Cannot beat that. All right, we're fired up for golf this week. I'm going to set the scene for you a little bit as normal, and then we'll go to Mr. Switch Hitting Golfer here and take it from there. All right, we have the Wyndham Championships, and it used to be called the Greater Greensboro Open. And I have a story. When I was 9 and 10, I lived in Greensboro, North Carolina. My dad was transferred there. We had season tickets to ACC basketball.
Ooh,
so I
beautiful.
got to see all the Duke, North Carolina, Clemson, Maryland, and their teams were NC State won it that year. That was the David Thompson, Tom Burleson, Monty Tao, all those great players. But okay, sorry. Anyway, Greensboro Open, it's the Sedgefield Country Club, and it is a par 70 It's only 71-17, so not bad. They've been playing some 74 and 7,500 length courses. A couple of par fives. Looks like a pretty tight layout. But the course looks absolutely beautiful. And I've played enough golf in North Carolina to know when you stray from the fairway, you get in those pine needles and everything, that real slippery stuff that's off to the side that your irons just slide right off of. So I think there is going to be a premium to be straight. I don't think it's as necessary as it's been recently to be as long. So we might have, a few of those players get back into play that have been just not able to bomb it down the course long enough. So that's really the setting. Weather-wise, it's looking good right now. Hopefully that remains. And that's really the layout. We actually have a good field. As we were talking about beforehand, everybody's trying to position themselves to qualify for the FedEx playoffs. And so this is an important aspect for those guys that are fighting for those last spots. So it's going to be competitive. This is a much better field than I thought going into this week. So I think it's going to be a good tournament. I have all the odds also called up here on mybookie.ag, just refreshed. And, we're recording this 7:30 here in Dallas on Wednesday. So we'll get this out so everybody can listen to it tonight, because it is an early, now that it's an East Coast tournament. So you got to get it in tonight because it's a 7 a.m. for me, 6 a.m. Tee time and lock. So definitely get those plays in tonight. All right, man, let's jump right into it. And why don't you give us a little take on a few guys you're looking at, and we'll bounce a few back and forth.
Sure. Well, one thing we always like to do is we look at course history and who's won here before. Snedeker is a real has a real special history here, because in 2018 he shot a 59 and went on to win. He's 8,200. He hasn't been playing very well lately, and his quote was that he's not very happy with his spot in the rankings, and it's only a successful year for him if he gets to East Lake for the Tour Championship. But he's got some work to do, so he's going to be battling to have a solid finish. 2016 was Siwoo Kim, and he's 8,600 on DraftKings. He finished tied for 13th at the PGA Championship. I think he's going to be popular with his course history here. Nice, mid-tier pricing there. Davis Love III won it in 2015. He's 6,100.
He's 60,000 to 1 to win it.
Yeah,
I just saw him. They had a few guys at the very end of it, and I just thought, what? Why would you ever make that high of odds for somebody?
I know it.
What a slap in the face.
Yeah, maybe someone from his family will put $10 on it just for fun, but
heck, why not?
He hasn't made a cut in a while, so I don't think I'll play him. Patrick Reed won it in 2013. He also tied for 13th at the PGA.
Yeah.
Sergio won it in 2012. He's 8,500. He missed the cut at the PGA, but he was pretty solid before that.
Yeah, so, he played bad at the PGA though.
Yeah, he did.
He got some ownership. We didn't have him, thank goodness, but he did get some ownership and sort of blew up. But you're right, he's been steady this season.
Yeah, it could be a bounce back spot for him here at a place where he's played well. I was ready to transition to Webb. In 2011, he won here. He's been terrific on this course.
Yeah,
you talk about horses for courses. This is the big decision of the week: is do we eat the chalk with Webb Simpson because of his course history here?
Yeah,
and if you want to look at pricing and think about the decision that a lot of people are going to make, including us, is you start at the top and you got to figure, are we going to go with Webb and his course history here, or perhaps go with Brooks Koepka right in that same price range? And I do value course history, and Webb is the poster child for it here. But he struggled at the PGA, and we know that Brooks Koepka had a terrible Sunday, but he's trending in the right direction. I mean, in terms of recent form, I prefer Brooks Koepka. But what are your thoughts on those two big boppers here? Well, not in terms of distance for Webb Simpson, but big price guys. Do you have a lean at this stage on those two guys?
I don't have a lean. I have a headfirst dive straight into the swimming pool here. I'm definitely on the Webb Simpson bandwagon, and I've been fading Koepka for multiple weeks in a row. I know you've been holding out hope with him, but he just there's just no consistency there. He looks like he's going to do great, then he'll have a double or triple bogey. He's just been a little bit off, and I think that knee is hurting him too.
Yep.
Or at least enough that it's getting in his head.
Yep.
So yeah, again, like I said last week, he could win it at any time, but I'm not going there, and I think it's hard not to eat the chalk here on Simpson, because I mean he just seems like such a fantastic, top 10 type of finish guy that it's going to be hard not to roster him, in my opinion. But I don't like chalk in golf because it doesn't usually work out.
Right.
But this time with this course, the way he hits the ball, everything favors him going into this. And he's been playing good golf too. So, I think that he's definitely the guy to beat, in my opinion. I'll have a shilling or two on mybookie.ag on Mr. Simpson because I think his odds are fair. He is the favorite. No, he's tied for favorite. So he's plus 1,000, and so is Brooks Koepka. So they're both the co-favorites, but that's not a bad number as long as anything below 1,000 in golf is not a good play. Like the other couple weeks ago, somebody was plus 650, and it gets silly. There's too many golfers that could step up and win at any time. So as long as you passed it over to me, and I have mybookie.ag, and I haven't stumped you in about a month, I'm going to try to get you. I think I got you this time, actually.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to give you right now the top 8 favorites to win the event, so our listeners can mark these down, because usually if you go back and look at the history of this, usually at least 2 of the top 8 are right there in these tournaments a lot of times. So again, you have Simpson and Koepka at 1,000, Reed at 1,400, Tommy Fleetwood Mac at 2,000, which isn't bad, Paul Casey 2,000, and Justin Rose is 2,000, which is a surprise. I think he hasn't played well enough, in my opinion. And then we have 2 of Freddie's favorites, bookends here, both the same odds, Abraham Answer and Harris English. So if you're listening, Freddie, we need your picks. We need a couple of shoe-ins, buddy. All right, so here's where your tough chore comes in. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So you have 6 guys, and I'll give you 2 misses before you're eliminated.
Oh, gosh. Wow.
Yep.
Did you say Billy Horschel?
And you're like, yes, no, I didn't, but he's in there.
All
so
right.
You're already got 1.
Well, Siwoo Kim, former winner.
He made it as well by the skin of his teeth. 2 for 2.
How about Sergio?
No. Sergio is not too far below. He's close. He's plus 4,000.
Let's see
You got
here.
one more miss.
One more miss. That's it.
That's it. I'm got you like plus 5,000 to win this chat.
How about Jordan Spieth?
Jordan Spieth is correct. He is tied with Billy Horschel at plus 3,300.
All right.
So you need one more to win, one more to lose. So it's all comes down to this particular golfer.
Oh my goodness. Well, how about Sung J M?
You got it. You're a
Right.
winner again. You're like 17-0. I think you're cheating. That's the only thing I can think. But Sungjae's plus 3,500. It's a great play. The other ones that are right there with him, Brendan Todd, who's been sneakily playing some decent golf, and Kevin Kisner, and that rounds out that group. So you've got a lot, and then from there, again, thanks to mybookie.ag for these odds, but you've got a lot of interesting guys, like you said, Sergio, Shane Lowry, your buddy Snedeker, a couple guys we've played, Corey Connors and Joaquin Neiman. So there's some guys in the middle of the pack, Matt Wallace, Charles Howe, Dylan Fratelli. So there, you can build with a couple of studs, and I think it'll be easier with these middle level guys of building a lineup that you like. Like last week when we had all the top guys and the pricing was so tough, it was like two studs and then it's dumpster diving trying to fill out your lineup. So I think you'll have a little more flexibility this week.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 5 guys over 10,000 on DraftKings, so I agree. Once you make that decision on Koepka or Webb, then you will have a little bit more flexibility. So earlier you mentioned the fact that the playoffs are coming up here next week. Guys are making that final push for the standings. So Snedeker is one that we've talked about. And Justin Rose, there's another one who, as you mentioned, has not been playing well until this past week. He finished 9th in the PGA Championship. He's only 103rd in the rankings, the FedEx Cup rankings. So he's making a push.
How many guys, and I should know this, or I should have at least done the homework on it, how many guys make it? What's the cut line?
125 make the first round.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right,
so
I'm going to give you a quick let me give you a quick update here, and you give me your feel on it, because these are the guys that we really need to talk about for value. So I'm going to give you the group between 116 and 126.
Okay.
Or no, it's 125. So I'm going to give you 120 to 130. That would be a better 5 guys in, 5 guys out. Tom Lewis, Siwoo Kim, Fabian Gomez, Russell Knox, Charles Schwartzel, Bronson Burgoon, who had a few good tournaments earlier, Chase Seifert, Nick Watney, Zach Johnson, and Kyle Stanley. Any standouts there?
Yeah, a couple of those guys aren't playing, but a bunch of them are. So we've talked about Siwoo Kim. Charles Schwartzel, interesting. I saw a note on him. He's right at 125.
Yep.
And
he's the guy on the bubble.
He is on the bubble, and he was in this position a few years back at this tournament, and he finished tied for 3rd.
Nice.
So he came through in the pressure on this course. He's only 7,400. So I do think he's worth considering. And then the other guy,
sounds like a secret squirrel play right there.
Yeah. Should we edit it out of the podcast? The other guy that you mentioned that jumps out at me is Kyle Stanley. He's even cheaper than Schwartzel. He's 6,800, and he had a tie for 14th here in 16. He had a tie for 13th here last year. He just tied for 12th at the Barracuda Tour event. So he's got solid recent form, good course history, needs a solid week. So he's one of those guys that is a nice filler in your lineup at 6,800 as a guy that you're confident is going to make the cut, because he's going to grind and make sure he gets to the weekend and then really try to move up the standings. So I do think it's important to look at those rankings.
Oh, I think it's pivotal. Now I'm looking to see just another edge to see who's at least played well. And again, these are the season stats, not just since we came back from the shutdown, but if you look at the guys that could jump over and get in there, here's a guy right outside too, Jonathan Vegas, who's had 4 top 25s that could be dangerous. Sergio is only is actually doable to get over. He's 134, and he's playing. And then you've got, like you said, Stanley has 4 top 25s. Burgoon is not bad. I rostered him one week and he made the cut. He's had 3 top 25s, as has Schwartzel. So is Russell Knox in the field? He is, isn't he?
I don't remember seeing his name. Let me double check that.
Because he has 5 top 25s.
Yeah, he is. He's 6,600 on DraftKings.
And he's 124th. So that's another guy that can play some golf when he puts his mind to it. He could be another secret squirrel candidate. And then, anybody else that's in there is Bo Hostler. Can you confirm that he's in the field? Because he's got a top 10 and 5 top 25s and is trying to hold on at 117.
Yeah, he's in there. He's 6,300. He finished tied for 21st at the Barracuda after several missed cuts.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much confidence he can have in a Bo Hostler, but he's desperately going to want to hang on to this position in the top 125. So outstanding, man. I think those are good edges because, you can go with the strong plays, a couple of your reliable guys that you think are going to make the cut mid-level, and a couple of these secret squirrel guys that are cheap that are trying to, qualify in the top 125. So it's a good build strategy for sure. I will tell you this. I do have a second guy. I like him as second best in this tournament. Simpson's my top play. But this other guy is in 100% of my GPPs in cash, and it is the Discord play for our members. So definitely check us out, dfscoachtalk.com. I'm going to have that posted in Discord this evening in about an hour and a half from now. So I feel by building my lineup around these 2 guys, Simpson being one of them, that I feel like I'm going to make a big push here if I can just get my value guys to get it done, and then you got to finish. Last week we had 5 or 6 guys make the cut. We just had some guys on Sunday that decided they did not want to play. So They didn't play, or they did play, but they just didn't play well. So we need to make the cut and finish. So no big deal, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that is the key. For our members, what we do is we give out a full FanDuel lineup in all sports, but also for golf. So if you join tonight, you'll get that FanDuel lineup. And on DraftKings, we give out the coach's clipboard where we have core plays and then other potential pivots to fill out your lineup. And that was the clipboard that crushed it in NBA. Was that last night, Coach? It already feels like 2 days ago.
Where we had 2 nights in a row where we just murdered it. Last night, you and I combined to take down about 4 or 5K, right?
Yeah, well, I was over 3 myself. Weren't you over 2?
Right around just 2,100. So we were right in there. Yeah.
About 5,500 between us based on right off the clipboard. All 8 guys from the clipboard, and I finished top 10 in a 26,000 person tournament on DraftKings. So that's the same clipboard we use for every sport. That's what we provide to our members.
Yeah, and baseball, I provide that in baseball as well. And last week, I was sitting in first in the $100,000 spot, ended up finishing third for 15K, which is still great, but I was knocking on the door. So we've been killing it in that clipboard with the core group. Everybody loves it. And then, what I'm going to do, and I do this often, is I'm not just going to give a hybrid lineup in golf this week. I'm going to give a cash and a GPP. I'll be posting both of those on FanDuel in our Discord, and Andrew will be posting, of course, the coach's clipboard. So I think we give you a lot of chances and good runs at knocking some of these tournaments out. I think you're not going to have quite as big of as many people joining these as last week with the PGA Championship, but there's still some really juicy contests out there on both FanDuel and DraftKings.
Absolutely. By the way, I don't know if it's full yet, but there's a $3 tournament on DraftKings, the 20 entry max, I think, huge tournament. And if you enter it, you get a free week trial of the PGA Tour Live, where you can watch the early coverage throughout the day.
Yes.
It seems that they're going to have that for the next few weeks. So if you miss out on it this week because it's full, just look for it next week on DraftKings, the $3 tournament with, like 300,000 entrants. I think if you only even put one team in, you get the free week trial if you don't have the golf coverage already.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you bet a lot on the PGA, and you got to get it, man. You get the PGA Live. If you sign up for ESPN, you got that. And then tomorrow, for example, a lot of these tournaments are covered by NBC. We have that package, and they're not super expensive considering what you play, what you pay to enter these events. And when you're watching, what I love to do is I play get everything in there tonight for golf for the week. And then one of my favorite plays, because I've just consistently done well at it, whenever I get a chance to watch something and scout it, that's when I feel like I got a much better handle on body language, whether they're lipping putts out or they're just off, or, you can see so many things. So I like to play the weekend slate on Friday night for Saturday, Sunday. And usually it either just I hammer both, or unfortunately, sometimes I bail out with that weekend lineup because the full one doesn't go as well. But I think that it's a great advantage to be able to have that. So if you're playing, $50-$60 in these, bite the bullet and spend that just one time to get these golf memberships so that you can watch them online. I highly recommend it. So I mean, it should be a good one. I think we've got a good shot to get it done. We've been toying with some big hits in golf. We haven't had them yet like we have in baseball and basketball, but we are knocking on the door, and we're expecting anytime soon to have the big one. So we're going after it. There's no doubt.
Yes,
any
sir.
other golf gems you have for us?
I think we covered it for the week. I've got one other 6K guy that we'll give to the members. Real fun price and profile. One other mid-tier guy that I'll mention is Ryan Moore. He won back in 2009, 8,100. He has 2 straight top 12s on the PGA Tour and strong course history here in recent years as well since his win in 2009. So another nice mid-tier option for you.
It's amazing how long these guys stick around golf.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching these guys in person at some events, like 2002, 2005. And here we are 2020, and a lot of these guys are still out there smacking the ball around. So it's pretty good. It's one thing about golf. You can play it for a long time. What we do on baseball and football and basketball is we are in our Discord 30 minutes before lock for any changes or any shifting or anything like that. We're right on it. With golf, you really don't have to do that. The news is going to come out before midnight, and we're going to be in Discord and watching every piece of news. We've yet to be stung, knock on wood, with anybody getting cut, not playing, or, how often does that happen? Very, very little in PGA. So, we'll have everything buttoned up. We'll have this podcast posted, all of our lineups posted in Discord, and you can hit the pillow and know that you've got your plays locked in and set to go. I also wanted to mention too, with being on such a hot streak, I've also played some fantasy draft and some Yahoo, and I really enjoy them as well. So playing all 4 sites. If you pick and choose your spots, it's a really good play. And Yahoo is offering in a lot of sports right now some rate-free tournaments where they literally don't take a penny. And there's some good size events there. So, if you're looking to do something different, their salary system is 100% different. It's like you pay $10, $12, $7, that kind of stuff. So don't look away from those other sites too. Again, if you can play without any rake, especially if you're playing smaller amounts or you're new to it, take advantage of those, because rake is pretty heavy. I mean, there's, from 11 to 16% in some of these tournaments or in events, which is a chunk. So, you want to definitely, take a look at all of them. Now, if you're playing the big contests, certainly as we do at Coach Talk, our focus is with DraftKings and FanDuel, but, it doesn't hurt to mess around with a few other, shots at it, especially if it's break free.
Yeah. Two last things, Coach. You mentioned the late scratches. A note here did pop up that Abraham Answer has withdrawn from the field. So we'll have to wait for the playoffs to play him. And his return will likely coincide with Freddie's. He tweeted back to me he is just wrapping up his vacation. So he's going to dig back in next week for golf. And hopefully we'll get another article up on the website for the next event.
Fantastic. And I'm only reading the golf ones because when I start reading the KBO ones, the wheels start turning.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I could get up at 4:30.
Right. We only did it about 75 times. Yeah.
There were times where we talked to each other at like 10 in the morning and we'd like, what day is it? We don't.
Oh yeah.
We were out of it, but we made a nice chunk of money in KBO.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
It really was.
Yeah, I want to watch the playoffs when they come around, those guys, no doubt. All right, fantastic. I think that's it. If you can follow us on Twitter, all of us at DFS Coach Talk. I'm at Joe Sarvadi, JoeSarvadi. Andrew is at Language Olympic. Our man Sugar Shane is at DET Sports Shane. And the aforementioned Mr. Mills is at Freddie Mills 7. That's FREDDIE. And YouTube, if you're watching now, please hit the thumbs up and hit the button, the alarm to let you know when our podcast posts. That really helps us and we really appreciate it. That's DFS Coach Talk. You can also look through our library of podcasts for all sports where we've previewed all the teams. Also have some great strategy sessions on there with roster selection, site selection, bankroll management on down the line. Instagram, we're DFS_Coach Talk. And of course, you can see us on DFSCoachTalk.com if you're interested in jumping in with the best DFS community in the industry. We always want to mention our MambaOn3.org, MAMBAONTHRE.org. Fantastic charity set up by the Bryant family. And that is it, my friend. We have the doubleheader in the books. We've got basketball done today and golf. Tomorrow, you and I are back with NBA, and it's going to be a challenge because I've already looked for those that play NBA. A lot of guys sitting like the top 8. So we're going to be playing some serious value guys across the board tomorrow, but it'll be fun. So awesome, man. Any final words?
Thank you all for joining us.
Fantastic. I hope you enjoy it. We hope you just absolutely kill it in golf. And we will be back with you tomorrow when we look to crush it again on DFS.